Hello, so here's number 52. We've got y as a times the sine of ct plus b times the cosine of ct. And t is the variable here. A, b, and c are all constants. So it wants the second derivative. And so I'm going to start with the first derivative, y prime. Now when you're multiplying a constant, that constant just stays because the derivative of a constant times a function is a constant times the derivative of the function. So I'm going to look at the derivative of sine, which is cosine, and I leave the inside the same, and then I multiply by the derivative of the inside. So the derivative of ct is c. So imagine that was like the derivative of 2 times t. Well, the derivative there would be 2. So the constant, that's the derivative there. Okay, and then we have plus, and then b stays where it is. The derivative of cosine is negative sine, and we leave the inside the same, ct, but then I need to multiply by the derivative of ct, which is c. So let's see about this, y prime. We have ac times the cosine of ct. And then I'm going to change that addition to subtraction because of the negative here. So minus, and then BC. BC times the sine of CT. Now that is the first derivative. So I'm going to take the derivative again and look for the second derivative now. Y double prime equals. Okay. So AC is a constant. That stays. And now the derivative of cosine is negative sine. Leave the inside the same, and multiply by the derivative of ct, which is c. And then we're subtracting. I'm going to leave the bc there. That's a constant times the function. So I'm going to do the constant times the derivative of the function. The derivative of sine is cosine. And I'm going to leave the inside the same and then multiply by the derivative of the inside, which is c. Okay. Well, let's bring all the constants out front. Our y double prime is a times c, that's a times c squared times let's put that negative out front, negative ac squared sine of ct, and then minus, and then we have c and c, we have a b times c squared times the cosine of ct. And that's a beautiful derivative right there, second derivative. The issue is that it's not any of the options when you look at the A, B, C, D, E options. And looking at it, you're like, gosh, you know, the E is kind of close, but it doesn't have that negative in front of the sign, and it's got like an A squared and a B squared, so it just doesn't match up. But B is the one that's interesting here. So I noticed that there's a negative and a C squared in each of these. So let's see what we can do. If I take that negative c squared and factor it out, I'm left with a times the sine of ct plus b times the cosine of ct. And that is actually the function that we started with, and that function is called y. So we have negative c squared times the function y, and that is the second derivative. So that option is B, as in beautiful, because math is beautiful. Have a lovely day.